as you can already tell by the title of this video, I'm sharing some self-care spreads I put together. I feel like there are many of us who would agree that this is a time where we all need to be taking a little extra care of ourselves, and one of the ways that I like to encourage more action in my life is by creating spreads in my journal. The spread you're seeing me put together first is a doodle a day spread. I'm drawing out 30 boxes to act as my doodling canvas for each day. I am using this pink transparent grid ruler that you've seen me use many times in the past, but I found it especially useful when creating these boxes because the transparentness of the ruler made it much easier to see what I was doing. I got this ruler from Michael's probably a year or so ago. It will be linked below, as will all the products you see me use today. I'm one of those people who is always doodling on a random piece of paper when I'm on a phone call. Anything, and I do mean anything around me, is at risk of being covered with artsy leaves and coffee cups, but I just find it to be so calming, and I want to bring more of that calming energy into my life. So this whole challenge is going to be really good for me, or at least I think it will. Although I'm usually doodling on some sort of blank page, I feel like that can be really intimidating if doodling doesn't come naturally to you. So containing the doodling each day into a small block is a lot less intimidating. It makes it something quick and fun to do, and I love how these spreads end up looking when they're completed. It's not too chaotic because you've got everything spaced out neatly. Big fan, big fan. I love drop shadows. Adding them is just a really simple way to make a basic header or shape pop, and that definitely proved to be the case here. I used one of Faber-Castell's brush pit artist pens to achieve this look, and I find using a brush pen for this was crucial because there was 30 boxes to shadow, and I'm pretty sure my hand would have fallen off if I colored them in with just a regular black pen. I could have used the shadowing opportunity to add some color to the spread, but I figured the doodles themselves will end up doing that for me when the spread is complete. I then went in with a 0.38 size black pen from Muji to add prompts to each box. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm always doodling leaves and coffee cups, so I feel like the prompts will be a fun challenge to doodle some other things, although I did still make both of those prompts because I like drawing them way too much. I'll be sure to write out the prompts in the description box in case you want to use them yourself or you're just curious to see what they are. The next spread is the only scrapbooking style spread in this video, and it ended up being my favorite one by far. This spread, unlike the previous doodle a day spread, is one where the real self-care benefit comes from creating it rather than using it, if that makes sense. I always find these spreads where I experiment with pasting things to my journal as an opportunity for me to just pop on a podcast or a chill playlist and just let myself get lost in the process. I actually did another scrapbooking style spread in a video last month where I took you through the process of creating a spread from start to finish in real time, so I'll have that linked below as well. As you have seen at the top of the page, I glued in a photo and a piece of scrap brown paper that was actually used as wrapping in an online order that came in a few days back. And then on top of that, I added some quotes I found online around the theme of perspective. Now, perspective is something I've been talking about on Instagram lately because what's helpful for me whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed is to remind myself how important it is to look at situations in life from different perspectives, because more often than not, you can discover good things coming from even less than ideal circumstances. I was also happy to have black washi tape again, raise the roof, throw the confetti. I feel like me and black washi tape go through serious withdrawals whenever we're apart, so I'm happy to report I now have a fully stocked roll on hand. On the bottom of the first page, I just included a mini list of things to write about, things like a reoccurring fear I have and a book that stuck with me and why. I like having journaling prompts ready for me whenever the impulse to journal hits. On the right page, I brought back the scraps of brown paper for a nice decorative touch and used the rest of the page to paste in mini album covers for songs that make me want to dance right now and mini movie posters for some movies that always put me in a good mood. The other night, I was actually watching The Devil Wears Prada, and I've got to say, that movie has one of the best opening scenes ever. We've got the music, the clips of all the fashion, Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep. It's a great time. Speaking of Anne Hathaway, I also have The Princess Diaries on this list, which is just a classic film with the wonderful, amazing Julie Andrews. The Wedding Date, You've Got Mail, The Proposal. I also have Set It Up included on this list. This is one that I discovered on Netflix a while back, and it stars Zoe Deutsch, and the whole premise, according to Google, is two overworked, underpaid assistants come up with a plan to get their bosses off their backs by setting them up with each other. And it's a great time. I love me some Zoe Deutsch. So yeah, if you're looking for some feel-good movies, those are worth checking out if you haven't already. I feel like there's so many more that could be on this list. I need to make a double page spread of this one day because I feel like I'm not honoring some of my favorites right now. I was really happy at this point, but I just felt like some of the white space needed to be filled, so I drew a quick flower and leaf stem, added the word joy to the bottom right page, and then I was done. We're going to take a step back from the scrapbook look and return to the equally magical land of minimalism. One thing I've been noticing lately is that the weeks have been blending together in my brain. So I feel like it'd be a good idea for me to be taking a moment each week to actually reflect on what happened and what I accomplished. So I set up the spread with 4 prompts to fill out. 1 being my favorite memory of the week, 2, my toughest moment, 3, something I'm feeling gratitude for, and 4, a piece of content that I felt inspired by. Really, all of these prompts could be answered with way more space than just the small rectangle I gave, but I wanted to design this to be just a quick check-in, and I think I achieved that. Also added a little quote at the bottom to give it that little artsy touch, but I did keep it pretty plain and black and white because, like I said, bringing back the minimal vibes with these next few spreads. On the right page, I drew out 3 very basic grid habit trackers. In April's Plan With Me, for those of you who watched, I showed a weekly spread that incorporated a section to write down 1 thing to do each day for my mind, my body, and my soul. And I figured, heyo, this would be a great idea for a tracker as well. So that's what I created. Once again, I'm also playing around with writing text vertically. I really love how simple this method is as if it's like this totally new, never seen before thing. But writing things vertically rather than horizontally is just a simple way to add variety to the look of spreads. Adding on to the discussion earlier about perspective, something that has a big impact on switching my perspective is focusing on gratitude. So this page on the left is meant to be a sort of gratitude reminder for daily gratitude practice. I think it's great to start your day writing down things you're grateful for and challenging yourself to focus on the really little things in life that bring on feelings of gratitude. So for example, one thing I'd write today is I'm really grateful for the fact that I was able to make a tarantula island on Animal Crossing last night and sold them for over 500,000 bells. If you do not play Animal Crossing, then that will mean nothing to you. But if you do play the game, then you understand that this was an epic day for me. I may also write something like, I'm grateful for my brother making me laugh this morning when he, ranted about my inability to shut off the coffee maker every time I make coffee. It's something I'm working on, I promise. But the point is to really focus in on those little things that we often ignore. right side of the page, I decided just to make a really basic template for where I could write down these 3 things daily. There's nothing too crazy happening here. I just have a box number 1, 2, and 3, a little line for me to write in, did some drop shadowing to add a little excitement, and that's really all there was to it. I hope this video ended up giving you some good self-care spread inspiration for your own journal. I feel like people, myself included here, can find themselves right now feeling pressure to be their most productive self or like to learn a new skill. And as much as those things can be good, I do think the most important thing we all need to be focusing on right now is ourselves first. So I encourage you to be kind to yourself, give yourself a little extra love right now, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. And until then, bye guys.